The Summer Acid is coming with Behringer's full release of the TD series, and now they're releasing it with 2 extra colors, expanding it up to 5 colors total. I'm pretty sure the yellow is a limited time edition, so if you want the yellow with a smiley face, that is something you want to jump on very soon. But they have expanded the colors to yellow and black, and that is on top of the old school silver, the blue, and the red version. So with those 5 colors intact, there's going to be a whole lot of acid going around this spring and summer, which is always a good thing for people who are into that type of thing. And on top of that, they are going to release mod versions in the future. So acid and the future of acid looks very bright. Behringer in general, obviously, I've covered them a lot on my channel overall. They are just doing a lot in the news in general, so it's very easy to talk about them. It seems like they're doing something new every day. But one thing is for sure, the acid community is very happy right now. Jumping into the land of Waldorf, Tone Tweak has recently released a patch-based browser for the Blofeld synthesizer. This is really interesting to me because I own a Blofeld and I love that synthesizer. I have yet to use this patch-based editor myself, but it's something I plan to do in the future and possibly make a video on. The interface within the Waldorf Blofeld is not the most user-friendly to a lot of people, so to have another interface option is always great. So I will definitely check this browser-based interface out in the future. If you own a Blofeld from Waldorf, I will leave a link in the video description down below so you can check out the browser-based editor. Another thing that really interested me this week was the release of the Akai MPC One. You're starting to see it in the hands of a lot of reviewers, a lot of big names, the development of the Akai and how they're starting to go a little bit more standalone. The MPC One offers much of the power of flagship MPC X, but in a smaller, more affordable format. It has many standalone features away from a computer. For a while, they were relying 100% on a computer. You needed a computer hooked up into them. These newer models, of course, you can hook them up into them, but they have standalone features. I myself don't do a lot of sampling, a lot of chopping. I don't do a lot of that style of music, but it's really cool that they are catering to that they're starting to feed the standalone aspect of it. And jumping in quickly about Behringer again, Behringer just today shared a post about Mike Smith and Synth Wood. Creates amazing rack mounts and custom cheeks for synthesizers. All of them made from, obviously, hence the name, wood. Various styles of wood. I myself just yesterday got a 3-tier. I'm pretty sure this is a prototype version of his 3-tier Behringer synthesizer mount, his rack mount, and it's absolutely amazing. Again, I think this is a prototype version and it'll be improved in the future. So I wanted to sit back and kind of just show you a video of this rack mount, talk a little bit more about it, kind of let you actually see Mike's work. And I'm really happy that Behringer, a really big company who is developing their own racks, gave a shout out to a really small developer who's creating his own wood racks. And I've had nothing but positive experiences from Synth Wood and Mike Smith. But now, enough talk about that. This transitions into my next segment, the 3-tier wooden rack mount from Synth Wood. Thank you, Mike Smith. Here we go. Okay, what can I really say about this thing? It's just absolutely amazing. It's, as the dude says, it's the rug. It's the piece that brings everything together. It's the rug in the room. It brings the 3 pieces I have together into one focal working point and really makes it easier to work with these synthesizers. And you can tell that Mike from Synth Wood did a lot of thinking. You have plenty, I'm talking about plenty of space in the back for all your power jacks, all your MIDI cables, all your audio wires. Nothing will be jammed up close to each other. He did amazing work at making sure everything was exposed in the back. You have some cutouts on the side if you want to run some wires through the side of the wood rather than the back. As I said earlier in the video, he supposedly sent me a prototype version. And as you can see, there is spacers for the Model D at the bottom, and right now there is 2 spacers on each side of the Model D, and supposedly I'm pretty sure I read that will change and he will have a solid 1 spacer for each side, which will look a lot nicer. And I imagine his wood will be a lot cleaner at that point for the spacers too. Once it's assembled, it really just changes the experience of owning 3 separate Behringer synthesizers and having it into one just vertical experience. It is so much more user-friendly and so much more fluid. And when something is more user-friendly and more fluid, you're more apt to touch it, you're more apt to play with it, you're more apt to use it. And when it comes down to music, that's important, because if you're not using it, you're not touching it, you're not making music. So just having the rack mount, I can already tell, is going to motivate me more to touch these instruments, and that is a positive thing. The quality in build is really strong. Being 100% honest, this build was a little bit tough to put together. Your goal is to keep the metal cheeks on, and I got the first wooden panel on really easy, but the second wooden panel, keeping the cheeks lined up with the holes in the wood with all 3 of the synthesizers and not having them move and getting the screws in was a little bit of work. It took me a few times to get it right and get a method that worked, and I did have to get some adjusting after, and I learned how to do it. It took me, I'd say 15 minutes with the second panel, maybe 20 minutes, but the work was well worth it. And maybe in later iterations it'll be a little bit easier. I do think the fact that it had 2 spacers on each side made it harder for me to build that second side. If it was just 1 solid spacer, I do feel it would be easier. But either way, even with the 15-20 minutes work it took me to get that 1 panel on, which again, I'm not the brightest bulb on the Christmas tree, so if I did it in 20 minutes, you can probably do it faster. It's well worth the effort. Now that it's together, it feels solid, it feels great, it feels compact, it feels fluid, and I feel it's really going to affect my workflow. And I need to thank Mike Smith from Synth Wood for creating such amazing products. This is not the first product I've got from Mike and Synth Wood. Everything I've got from him has been quality. I've got many various type of wooden rack mount systems. I even got the cheeks on my microkorg that you see in my studio today from him. So I got all types of products, and they are all great, and they have all lasted and stood the test of time. And I just wanted to send an extra thank you out to him, show this video to people who have various synthesizers, that he makes cheeks in racks for beyond Behringer synths. If you have any type of synthesizer, you might want to check out his website. I will link it down below. Synth Wood, Mike Smith, thank you so much. So overall, the studio's looking great. The electronics synthesizer landscape is looking great. We should all be happy. We should all be pleased. From the budget musician to the highest tier musician, we have everything we want right now, guys. So with all that being said, thank you for watching this video. Without you guys watching this video, supporting this content, I would not have the motivation to evolve it, to keep moving it forward like you see today. As you can see, what this video you're seeing today from when I started my very first video is a massive improvement, and it's gonna keep improving over time. Your views, your support really means a lot and really drives me forward. And I need to send an extra thank you to my Patreons. Every month Patreons give me extra support, which is honestly absolutely life-changing. So between the views, the Patreons, you guys are just changing my life. And as always, stay positive, stay creative, support each other. In peace.